Welcome and hello to the P's, plants, poetry, people and places, and prayer. My name is Louis T. Condrick. How are you today? Today we're going to talk about Dracaenas, the family of Dracaena. Dracaena is a large family of popular plants. You have the gold dust Dracaena, which is green leaves with yellowish white specks on the leaves themselves. Slender stems come out of the middle of the plant. Belgium evergreen, tall, slender plants, variegated, slender leaves, green in the middle, white on the outside. Massangina, also known as the corn plant, uh, mass cane, large, thick, woody stem comes from the middle of the soil, shoots up, slender leaves come off each side, green with whitish, yellowish stripes. This plant holds a lot of water too. Remember, that big, thick stem that comes out of the soil itself holds a lot of water. Dracaena marginata, tricolor plant. Large, slender stems come from the soil. Leaves protrude from either side. Very popular plant. It's the most popular of all the Dracaenas. Dracaena marginata. Dracaena warnicki or warnicki, however you want to say it, like the Belgium, have white stripes on the inside of the plant, on the inside of the leaf. Large stem comes out of the soil. Thick growth from the plant more than Belgium. In other words, there's a lot more leaves that come out of this plant than the Belgium. The Belgium is a little bit more sparse. Popularity of the plants, Dracaena marginata is the first, then the mass cane, that's the next most popular. The warnicki, gold dust in Belgium follow up. Leaves grow from the node area. The node there's a circle in the stem itself. You'll see a round circle go around. That is called a node. The area in between those two circles is called the internode. That is inactive growing area. The node is the active growing area of a plant. It's not dead, it's just inactive growing. Okay. Now, sometimes if you scratch the node of a plant, especially on a mass cane corn plant, Massangina, you could get new shoots to pop out. It's a trick with the plant itself. The thinner ones, it's harder to do because you might kill the plant itself, the stems chopping in them. But the big, thick corn plant stem that comes out, you could get new shoots. Plants need well drained soil. They thrive well in medium to bright filtered light. These plants like to be semi-root bound until the girdling of the roots, which is circling the pots over and over, chokes the plant, then it's no good. But these plants actually grow better when there is girdling. These plants are palm-like. That's what people mistake them for, as palms, but they're not palms. They're Dracaena family. Dracaena marginata that has two heads coming off the top of the plant. This is a specialty plant. It's called a dragon tree. All right. You could actually do the two heads yourself by, like I said, forming a new growth off the top. But you got to be careful. You can't dig in too much because you go into xylem phloem tubes and you'll kill the plant. English ivy and pothos grow well on the bottom of these plants containers. So if you want to have like a combination plant, uh, decorative. You could add English ivy or pothos on the bottom. Most common insects that attack this plant are scale, mealybug, aphids, spider mites, and ants. Scale is a small gray or black bump on the leaf and the stem of the plant. The insect is inside that shell. You can't use uh, contact sprays to kill scale. You have to use what they call systemics. It has to go inside the plant. The insect sucks the juice out of the plant, also sucks the chemical out of the plant that will kill it. It has to come from within the plant itself. Mealybug leaves cotton-like residue on the leaves. White specks of cotton or dust. That's a sign of mealybug. The mealybug attacks usually the new growth of a plant. Spider mites leave webbings in the crotches of a plant. You can tell when you have spider mites on the stems. They damage all the leaves. They form either holes or black spots in the leaves themselves. Now, ants, up and down the main stem of a plant, they look for the sap. Aphids, they like to suck the juice out of a plant. Major disease in this plant is anthracnose, root rot. People overwater the plant. If the stem becomes mushy in any way, you kill the plant. The plant's pretty much dead at that point. You can't rot. You can rot these plants out very easily by overwatering them. You got to feel the soil. If the soil feels a little wet, let the plant go. The plant will live. Overwatering a plant gives it disease. Underwatering a plant, you lose a few leaves. You're better off losing a few leaves and cleaning the plant up, trimming it, trimming dead stuff off the plant, than losing the entire plant. So be careful how you water plants. These plants also like a dry period. They like being dry for a period of time. Then you water them. They don't like to be constantly moist. Like I said, they like bright filtered light. The Dracaenas like bright filtered light. A curtain or shade is used to protect the plant. These plants do not grow well in low light. Moderate room temperature. Corn or mass cane flowers are very fragrant. When it does flower, you will know. It'll wake you up in the middle of the night. That's how strong it is. You fertilize these plants once a month. Should have well-drained soil, rich in nutrients. The plant could live off the soil itself if it's good soil. All right, a plant could live years off the good soil. You could feed the plant once a month, but don't go crazy about doing it. Too much fertilizer is no good either. Too little fertilizer, too much. You got to go right in the middle. Punch holes once in a while in the soil to let the plant breathe oxygen down by the root system. Trim the dead growth off the plant. Trimming it is the shape of the leaf. When you trim a leaf of a plant, you trim it to try to get the shape of the leaf so it looks more natural. And very important, Dracaenas and cordyline are two different plants. Cordyline is known as the Thai plant, is a different type of plant. It's not a Dracaena. I will have a program on cordyline in the future. Now, the poem I'm going to do today for you is called The Rover. The rover, to Mars it goes. The rover, the one who really knows. Mars both desolate and cold. Mars did have a civilization of old. The rover scans the surrounding ground. One has to wonder, does the rover hear sound? In the future, we shall land people on Mars. In the future, we shall travel to the stars. And that was the rover. Now, for my people and places today, I'm going to talk a little about state forests, state parks. We need our federal parks. We don't need to lose them. We need to maintain them for the animals, for the plants, the trees. This helps clean our air, clean our water. Yes, even our water goes through evaporation and gets filtered by plants through the root system and through the plant itself, through the leaves. We need parks for our own families, for camping, for fishing, for the children to play. We got to make sure we maintain our parks and put money into the parks. All right? Take money away from the politicians and give it to the parks. That's what we should be doing. Some of my fondest memories as a child and a young adult were of Stokes State Park in northern New Jersey. Other famous parks, I'll get into these in a second, but just to tell you a little bit about Stokes. It was always beautiful shade. I had a lot of memories of picnics and walking around, and I'll always have those memories of the park. So please, make sure you always vote for Green Acres and make sure you always tell you want good parks for your children and for yourself. Now, famous state parks throughout the country is the Redwood National Park in California, Joshua Tree in California, Mojave in California, Yosemite in California, Rocky Mountain in Colorado, Abraham Lincoln in Kentucky, Appalachian Trail, Maryland, Glacier Park, Montana, Appalachian Trail, New York. As you can see, there's a lot of parks. There were a list and list. I could be here all day talking about the names of parks. We have a lot of parks, but we need to maintain them and keep them. My prayer, closing out, is, good Lord, bless our everyday lives. Bless the plants and trees. Please bring peace. Amen. God bless. Thank you and goodbye.